Located just west of Oklahoma City, Bethany, Oklahoma is a bedroom community of nearly 20,000 people. Last week, the city held a series of city council elections, and 4 new members were elected to the council, including Amanda Sandoval, a 24-year-old who said that she wanted to bring some diversity to her hometown and also focus on issues of increased voter engagement, infrastructure, and economic development. I sat down with Amanda to talk to her about her recent election win and her plans on the city council. So Amanda, tell me just a little about your background. Where did you grow up and just kind of your upbringing? Let's start there.
So I was born and raised in Oklahoma City, but after 12 years we moved over here down in Bethany, just because my mom really loved Bethany. It's a very small town kind of feeling, and she really likes Route 66 touristy-wise. So I went to charter schools, but then I graduated from Putnam City West. In 2012, I went to OSU OKC, got my associates there, and then I went to OSU Stillwater and got my bachelor's there.
Okay. And what year did you graduate from OSU?
OSU Stillwater?
Yeah.
Okay. Was
it last year?
Yes.
Last year. Okay. And where you said you moved here with your family moved here when you were 12. Where are your parents from? Were they from Oklahoma?
They're from Mexico.
They're from Mexico.
They're both from Mexico, yes.
Okay. When did they come here?
Oh man, 20 plus years, so
okay.
Almost 30 years.
Yeah, okay. What was it like, I was kind of find this interesting, you know, your parents grew up in Mexico, you grew up here. I mean, what was that like for you growing up, kind of with that kind of dual cultures?
Oh man, it was so different. So one of the things I always take pride in is that they taught us to speak Spanish, write Spanish, and read Spanish at a very young age, because they knew once I started school it's going to be like all English. So they really prepared us really well to be able to speak Spanish. They're very strict. They've always been very strict. I got married last year, and I was like, what, 24? Yeah, 24 years old. And like a week before our wedding, my babe still had to ask permission to go and like take me out to a movie. You know, it's very traditional. And I still lived with my parents until the day after our wedding. I could finally live with my husband. So it's very different, and I see the difference with like other, you know, my other friends that are different culture backgrounds. And it's always really interesting seeing how different our parents are culturally.
Yeah. What were you always interested in politics? Or?
Oh yes. Okay. Ever since I started college, I just became active in a lot of organizations. Like Oklahoman Intercollegiate Legislature, a lot of politically active civic engaging groups. At OSU Stillwater, I founded an organization, Voto Latino, which was a lot of like pioneering grassroots initiative to like empower the community to use their vote, use their right to vote. And we registered people to vote in one semester, about 300 people to vote. Yeah, and it was during the 2016 elections. So it was really exciting because people actually were excited to like register to vote and vote. You know? Yeah.
What was driving you to be, you know, politically engaged and participate in some of these groups? I mean, kind of what was your motivation?
Yeah, so I mean, it has a lot to do with the lack of diversity. I wanted to be able to see like legislators and politicians that reflected me, and I spent a summer in DC where I was like part of an internship program, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute, and you know, it like really amazed me how much diversity there actually is in DC. So I wanted to be able to like reflect that here in my hometown, which is Bethany.
Yeah. So when did you first know that you wanted to run for office yourself?
Ever since I've been involved, like in college, I just feel like it was part of my journey, part of my platform, that I really wanted to be able to represent those that feel like they don't have a voice, or feel extremely underrepresented. So that's why whenever, you know, swearing in came in, this past Tuesday, I said some of my speech in Spanish to be able to show like, hey, you know, I speak Spanish. If you only speak Spanish, you can still come and like share your concerns, and I will gladly interpret for you. So I just want to be able to give those kind of resources and the opportunity for my people, for my community, to be represented.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about Bethany. I mean, most people aren't from here, and they know this is a kind of a small bedroom community. Hasn't traditionally had a lot of diversity. Is that changing? Just tell me a little bit about Bethany.
It is changing. You know, the minority population is growing. Excuse me. So it's growing, and like there's a lot of people that can't really imagine it, but it really is, because whenever I would knock doors that weren't like that were on my list, but you know, it wasn't Hispanic, and Hispanic people would answer the door, and it was really exciting to see like, oh wow, there's like way more Hispanics than I thought, and there's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of African Americans. There's a lot of different cultures, and I think that's really exciting to see that Bethany is growing in that way, much diverse. Needed.
Yeah. Well, tell me about your platform and what issues were important to you as you were running for this office.
So my platform consisted of like economic development, infrastructure, and community involvement. So with community involvement, one of my biggest goals is to increase voter turnout. That was the first thing, to make sure that people actually cared to go out to vote, and we did. We increased it from about 40% from last municipal elections, which was 2017. So that was attainable, but still with community involvement, I really want people to come and voice their concerns, and I really want them to come and like feel comfortable with, like, you know, being able to, I guess, let us know if they have any concerns or questions. And then like with infrastructure, a lot of the revitalization of 23rd Street and 36th Street or 39th Street, which is Route 66, to be able to like bring in small businesses to not only like survive but to thrive in Bethany, because a lot of small businesses sometimes leave. And I want them to be able to stay here. I've been having a lot of conversations with businesses in Bethany that say, we don't know, it's like, there's not a lot of like, you know, people coming out, we might have to move out. So being able to spark that conversation and figuring out solutions to get them to stay in Bethany. And then with economic development, you know, obviously again the same thing is like small businesses, to keep like tax revenues in Bethany, and to push people that live in Bethany to shop and eat in Bethany, so it can all stay in Bethany, because I know like a large population of us, me included, you know, we go to Oklahoma City or like nearby cities to go and eat and shop, and we should try to like do it ourselves so we can keep pushing to others in our community.
Yeah. What was election night for you? How confident were you in going in? Did you think you were going to win? Were you nervous? What was it like?
It was, oh man, so many emotions, because we legit worked hard. My team and I worked hard. We went above and beyond. We went sign waving. We like chalked up our cars. We did a lot that, you know, in any other political campaign probably was unnecessary and like really wouldn't help, but we felt the need that might have made a difference. So whenever it came to election night, we sent poll watchers. We were like on top of it, and like when half of the precincts reported, it was looking really good. So I was like, okay, it's looking good. But then like my field director was like, don't stay confident. So I mean, we just read it through and see how it went. So when I finally found out, it was really exciting, and I just couldn't believe it, because, you know, obviously I was very optimistic, and I'm like, we worked really hard, but just being able to see the results and seeing the numbers and seeing how much they increased was very mesmerizing, and it's something that I couldn't believe myself. Like, I was so excited, and it was just trying to remind us back. It makes me very emotional.
Yeah. What did your parents tell you?
So it's funny because I threw my mom under the bus. So before we gave the results, I told my mom that I wanted her to say a couple words in Spanish. So she did, and like she had no idea. So she was very nervous, and you could tell. So when she sat back down, and we gave the results, like she was in tears. She was very excited. My dad, he was very excited too. He was like, "What happened?" But he was so excited to find out. I don't think people expected it, you know. I think everybody was like, you know, you're doing a good job. You did a good job. No matter the results, you'll be fine. So the fact that, you know, I did win, and my parents were there, and they were so excited for me. They felt that it was all worth it, because, you know, I sacrificed a lot, and I knew that was part of the campaign. And we worked hard, like tireless hours, like. So I was very excited to see that it was worth it, and I actually got elected.
Yeah. What, you know, when you were sworn in this week, or, you know, when you finally sat down, you know, at the council table, I mean, kind of, what were you reflecting on? What were things that you were, you know, when you got a moment to kind of, you know, pause and just think about what you had been able to achieve? I mean, what was going through your mind as you were thinking about that?
Well, I sat down and I saw like one half of the gallery basically full with my family members and my supporters, and it was really exciting because I saw already so much diversity reflected upon like the constituency, the voters, the Bethany residents, and then I just always thought to myself, like, this is what we were working for. This is all we wanted. We just wanted a lot of diversity and being able to like motivate people in the community to come out. This is what I did. Afterwards, you know, I talked to my supporters and I sent them letters thanking them for their support and inviting them to a swearing in, because obviously I couldn't have done it without them. And some of them showed up, and like during the constituency comments section, one of them got up, like, Amanda's the first one that came to knock at my door. She's the only one that has ever knocked at my door. Like, you all should be ashamed. And I was extremely honored, because not because of the shame part, but because he took the time to come out and like wait through a long meeting and then still like be able to commend me, because he knew how hard I worked. I went to knocked his door like 3 to 4 times, inviting him to vote and everything. So it was a really good moment.
Yeah. How is it going to change things for Bethany to have you on the council? Like you said, you bring some diversity to a government body that before didn't have any, an all-white city council. Yeah. That's still largely the case, but now you're there. But how do you think it's going to change things for Bethany having you as a representative?
So I think it's going to bring a completely different perspective. I am the youngest, I am a millennial. I'm only 24, so what I have to offer is very different perspectives and being able to like come up with different solutions. And if I see something like specifically for my ward or even Bethany that will better it, I will advocate for that. And that's something I'm very passionate for, not just throwing it under the bus and like, oh, okay, it's not going to work. No, just making it work and figuring it out ways. And that's something that I'm very persistent. As my voters can tell you, I went to their houses 3 to 4 times, and I really want to work as a team with my council members, but I do believe I will bring a completely different perspective.
You'd said that Bethany is growing more diverse. I mean, there's kind of a growing, a different culture as a non-white population. What can you offer that community now being a representative on there? I mean, do you feel like has there been a disconnect maybe between city government and maybe the growing minority population? And if so, do you feel like you can kind of help bridge that, or?
There has been some sense of disconnect, because whenever I would go talk to people that are minorities, they had no idea there was even a city council. So being able to like tell them, hey, what's the difference between city council and like legislators, was already like a stepping stone. And I felt like even the language barrier, I was still able to help them out as much as possible. But being able to see, just as general as a person of color running for office was very empowering to them. Like, they felt that they had the right and the need to like voice all their concerns, and they did, and I was there to hear them all out. And I really appreciated that they were so patient with me. But I really hope they could see that, hey, I'm here as a resource, and if they ever need anything, they can really feel more than welcome to contact me. And I'm just like a listening voice, because technically, we are workers of the Bethany. We have to abide to what they want from us.
Yeah. And finally, so you've got your city council duties. When you're not, doing city business, what else are you doing?
Currently, I'm trying to get into my master's program. Okay. I've been accepted to some programs, but what my ultimate goal, besides starting in August, is that I want it to at least be 80% covered. Okay. I graduated with my bachelor's 100% covered with scholarships, so I want to be able to have that same, kind of drive for that. And I feel like it has a lot to do with like my parents, being first generation, and myself being first generation, and not really want to get my parents to struggle at all. And that has always been my mentality. So I would always work hard to like make sure I had like 0% debt. But that's what I'm doing, trying to get into a master's program.
Okay. What do you want to study?
Either an MBA or an MPA.
Okay. Kind of what do you feel like what's your trajectory? What are your goals beyond just the next couple of years?
Graduating from a master's program, I really want to go into law school. Okay. I really want to ultimately go to law school, and keep running for office.
Yeah.
That's something that's going to be like part of my life for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Amanda, thanks so much. I really appreciate your time.